What's the future of marketing?
Yeah, this is something I think about a lot. Is kind of where things are going in marketing. Obviously, AI is changing everything in terms of the way people are creating. I feel like it's right now it's at a point where it's completely amplifying human creativity, and I think a lot of people were fearful, especially in the early days to 2023, 2024. Oh my God, this is going to replace me. It's going to take my job away. I think that the way that I'm using it is it's really like speeding up the process of getting to that aha moment of the creative ideas. It's helping refine ideas. It's helping analyze all the data and put it into the right formats. And so for me, it's really speeding up, amplifying human creativity. But one of the things that I often think about is how fast technology is changing and how many new tools are propping up. But at the same time, the principles of human psychology are still the same as they were 100 years ago, right? People still want stories. They still love people. We're emotional. Humans are emotional animals, really. And I think there was a study years ago. I think it might have been like a Harvard research study that said 95% of all decisions, even in the B2B side, involve emotion. And so you have to tap into someone's emotional side, because when they make a decision, I've been studying the decision-making process, particularly in B2B. And it's really interesting how every decision is really made the same way in some regards. I mean, sometimes, there's a small percentage of which is just like completely rational and logical, and, we need this and we're just going to go with it. But for most decisions, the rational side of the brain and so like the rational and the logical side actually comes together with the emotional side of the brain. And it's kind of like creating this. I think there was a guy that calls it fusion points, like a sales trainer. I saw this, and so it's creating that connection, really. So getting back to your question, I mean, marketing is going to continue to change from a technology standpoint, but it's never going to change the way that people are connecting to people emotionally and inspiring them, making them laugh. All the human things are really going to stay the same, at least in my point of view.
How do you invoke those emotions for something that's really boring, such as B2B software?
Well, I think a number of companies out there actually are doing a pretty good job at this. I saw one example was Regal. I think it's called Regal AI. It's like there's hundreds of these chat bot or customer service agents that are using AI. So they're doing phone AI CS agents, and they're sounding more and more human, right? And they're actually becoming more and more useful. At the end of the day, I think there is a little bit of a pushback, and people still want to talk to humans. But I think there's a place for these technologies, and especially as they get better and better. But I saw they did this really cool creative activation. Regal did, where they actually they turned dogs' voices into different. You could call a number and actually talk to that particular breed. So I'm a big dog person. So you can see like, oh, I want to talk to a golden retriever. Here's the number. And then you could go and have a conversation with this dog. They also did another thing where they did like, you could be the next voice of AI. And so like you call this number and you kind of like, it was really tongue in cheek and funny. And it was like asking you questions, and it was like, all right, repeat back to me. And then you had to repeat it back. And it was like, oh, you're going to be the next voice of AI. So they're doing all these fun activations. And I think that's what I love to see, is like bring fun and excitement into the world of B2B. It doesn't have to be boring and dry. There's been a number of other companies. I mentioned Gong earlier. Gong is another one that early on said it doesn't have to be completely dry and boring. So I'm trying to learn about, I don't know if you have any B2B examples, but I'm trying to learn of like other ones that are doing it right and not just being stodgy and boring.